Hello, and welcome to a Suntup Press unboxing. This, my friends, is the artist edition of Hell House by Richard Matheson, which I know I'm a little bit of a hypocrite on getting, because I actually did a book review last year, right after this was announced, where I did a book review on Hell House, and I mentioned in the book review that I'm not a huge fan of the novel. You know, I mean, it's not one of Matheson's best. But then, good old Paul Suntup had to go and give me the details for Hell House, and goddamn, he sold me on it. You know, I can't believe I'm saying it. I bought the novel, not necessarily for FOMO, but because he just impressed me with the production value on this. So this, my friends, is the artist edition of Hell House. It's actually going to be a nice complement to my numbered edition of I Am Legend, which I actually have right off camera here. I purchased that before I was doing unboxing videos, so I figured I'll do a little show and tell for that one. So here we have Hell House by Richard Matheson. A nice kind of, not cap slipcase, but like a three-tone, multi-tone slipcase, which is actually very similar to the I Am Legend slipcase. Look at that. See? They complement each other. But like I said, I'll show you that momentarily. That way, if you only want to check out Hell House, you can, check that out first. If you want to see I Am Legend, then you can stick around and you can continue watching that. This is the only edition with the dust jacket by William Basso. So this is the artist edition, but artist William Basso passed away shortly after completing his work for Hell House. So he did not sign this edition. So this is actually an artist edition signed by all of the other contributors. Of course, just like some of the other letterpressed artist editions, you have, not all of them, but some of them, such as, I don't think Stepford Wives did it, but I know Psycho did, and I know Animal Farm did. You have like the stamping of the author's signature in the boards, which is very nice. Nice cloth bound. Ooh, yeah, a little bit of dingage on the bottom end there, but nice rainbow paper. Not rainbow in color. That's just the name of the style. End papers. As I mentioned, this is printed in letterpress. So it's a letterpress limited edition. Oh, I can't show you that one. This, of course, is Richard Matheson's novel from 1971. It is like The Haunting of Hill House, but cranked up to 11. We have an introduction by Richard Christian Matheson, who is Matheson's son, Richard Matheson's son. I don't know when Richard Christian Matheson started going by R.C. Matheson. I've only ever known him as Richard Christian Matheson, all spelled out, but apparently he goes by R.C. Matheson now. Mike Flanagan, the acclaimed director, who's also a Suntup fan, by the way. He is on, I believe he's on the lettered train, possibly the numbered train as well. But he is a huge Suntup fan, so it's really cool to get his take on the novel with his foreword. Then we'll get to the novel itself, in which an elderly gentleman hires a crew to go into Hell House, the Belasco house, to try to prove if the afterlife exists. You have a scientist, you have a former psychic, a current psychic, who's more of, do we have different type font in there as I was flipping through it? We do, look at that. So we have, the old text there. Perfect. In different font type, which is really cool. The story is broken up, not necessarily by chapters, but by the dates. Unfortunately, I think one of the weakest parts of the novel is just Matheson's portrayal of the characters, in particular the female characters. Not done very well. There is, this is a house in which your greatest fears come to light, and one of the character's biggest fears is potentially being a lesbian. That, hasn't aged well in the 50 years since it was published. There's also a little bit of ghost rape Although I guess you could argue that it's not technically ghost rape; it is consensual by both parties. But I would disagree and say no, that's ghost rape. What she thought she was being given consent to ended up being different than what she had expected. So I would argue that it's ghost rape. And here we have the ghost machine, the machine that's supposed to dispel spirits. Which I guess you could say that's a spoiler. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not a spoiler, just because he talks about this machine through the entire freaking novel. So, it's not like it's being sprung upon you. Oh, look at that little Suntup logo, letterpressed. We also have Nancy A. Collins' Afterward. So, look at you have 3 individuals providing forewords, introductions, and afterwards. All 3 of them did sign the title here. R.C. Matheson, Mike Flanagan, and Nancy A. Collins. Unfortunately, like I said, Basso passed before he could sign it himself, which I think is probably what led to the other ones signing it. I wonder if Basso had survived, if they would have just, only had Basso sign it and call it a day. This is not the first small press edition of Hell House. Gauntlet Publications did do a edition of it, which was signed by Matheson back in the 90s. The same can also be said of I Am Legend. I Am Legend received the 35th anniversary edition. Maybe 40th, honestly. It received an anniversary edition from Gauntlet as well. But obviously that was also done by Suntup. That was actually a very early Suntup title. Speaking of which, here is I Am Legend, the early Suntup title. I did once upon a time have the artist edition for I Am Legend, but I ended up selling it just because I couldn't justify having multiple editions of the same book, at least not within the same publisher. If I owned, for example, I don't own, but if I owned the Gauntlet edition, I wouldn't mind also owning the Suntup edition because they're both different publications, you know what I mean? Plus one's signed by Matheson and one is not. So I think that would be cool. But I couldn't justify owning the artist edition and the numbered edition, especially because the numbered edition, gorgeously printed letterpress. Artist edition, just printed offset. Still very nice. I liked the dust jacket by Alan Morris. Believe it or not, this numbered edition, for the longest time, which is quarter-bound vellum with nice little marbled papers there, for the longest time, this is one of the slowest-selling numbered editions by Suntup. This one stuck around for a long time, like way too long. I can't say that it was the slowest-selling numbered edition because, well, there are current Suntup titles that are still available in numbered edition. So, I mean, I don't know if more time has elapsed from their announcement to now than between I Am Legend's announcement and this one ultimately selling out. But could be. This one is the story of Sir Neville. Robert Neville. A man who finds himself in a precarious position in which he is the Omega Man. He is surviving against a very interesting crew of of vampires. Not your traditional vampire. Done very well. You know what? There are 2 main speculative reasons why this numbered edition took so long to sell out. One is the price point. It was a very pricey book. 2 was because it was only signed by... There was no introduction for this. There was no afterword. It was only signed by Alan Williams, who did the artwork. Don't get me wrong, Alan Williams did some incredible artwork. I love this piece in particular. This is actually the piece that was used for the slipcase of the artist edition. The artist edition, by the way, the dust jacket was a higher quality of the original artwork from the original paperback, which is really cool. I'm actually going to be doing another unboxing right after this, which I will upload tomorrow, of a Grim Oak title. And I'm actually going to show this illustration in that Grim Oak title, because that title is illustrated by Alan Williams. So, it'd be cool to show you a little bit of deja vu in a way. You can see Alan Williams using very similar style with his titles. Interestingly enough, if you want a beautiful art book of Alan Williams' art, Flesk has a book called Covenant, which is a collection of Alan Williams artwork. It is superb. I believe this might even be Is this the only Suntup title that had deckled edges? This was signed by Alan Williams, number 127, back when I had 127. I briefly had 172 as well. I'm trying to think of my other Suntup titles. I know the lettered horns, for example, also had deckled edges. But I don't have the lettered horns. I would love the lettered horns, but that is never going to happen. But was this the only numbered edition with deckled edges? Let me know in the comments below. I'm sure there had to have been at least one more. Maybe The World Doesn't End by Charles Simic. For some reason, I want to think that might have had deckled edges. We don't count that one. That one had a lower limitation. That was the extra rare numbered edition. It's not your traditional numbered edition. You know what I mean? Or maybe it does count. I don't know. Let me know. Does it count? Are there other ones that I can't think of? Sound off in the comments below. Before I let you go, I want to ask you a question, because I know there are some people out there who picked up their copy of Hell House or ordered their copy of Hell House through Dark Regions Press. And full disclosure, if you haven't heard what's going on right now, Dark Regions Press has gone dark. They have dropped off the face of the earth. Chris Moray has gone underground. Their website is down. They haven't been answering emails or responding to messages for the past month or so. And it came to light that Chris Moray had been trying to sell the press for the past 6 months, 7 months. I think January somebody said he tried listing it. Then he listed it again in April, listed it again in June. The man's been trying to sell Dark Regions Press. And, it sounds like it has gone under. It sounds like it's not going well. There's been no, as of right now, as of me recording this, which is actually Tuesday. This is uploading on Wednesday, but it's recorded on Tuesday. There has not been an official statement by Dark Regions Press. Believe it or not, there has been a statement from Weird House Press, and I feel really bad for them. Weird House Press was co-founded by Joe Moray, Chris Moray's father. He's actually the same man who originally founded Dark Regions Press. But then years back, he retired. Chris Moray took control of the press. Eventually, Joe Moray came out of retirement to found Weird House Press. But obviously, due to his connection to his history with the press and his relationship with Chris Moray, his relation to Chris Moray, a lot of people have reached out to Weird House Press. They've put out a statement saying, hey, we know nothing about this. Chris is even dodging Joe's phone calls, which is just sad to begin with. But it sounds like if you had ordered a copy, you might not be getting it through Dark Regions Press. If you ordered it within the last 6 months, I highly encourage you to reach out to your credit card provider or PayPal to try to get that refunded to you, because I don't think you're going to get it. Unfortunately, I had a couple titles myself on order through Dark Regions Press that I'm never going to receive, including the Essential and the Mission edition of Catch-22 by Joseph Heller, as published by Amaranthine Books. Found out after emailing Marco from Amaranthine that Chris Moray never even ordered Catch-22. Like, this dude was taking orders from it, taking money from it, and just never ordered the books. You know, that's a take the money and run kind of situation. So that kind of sucks. It's beyond the period in which I can normally dispute these charges. So I had to reach out because maybe, the fact that I have proof that he never ordered it might constitute fraud and allow me to get said money back. But who knows? But anyways, I just want to do a little public service announcement. Say, if you've ordered Hell House, if you've ordered any books through Dark Regions Press that you have not received yet, and you are able to get a refund through your credit card provider or through PayPal, I strongly encourage you to do so. I mean, there is always the slight chance that maybe Chris Moray is just sick. Maybe he is just off the grid and he fully intends to honor these orders. But I think that's a very slim chance. You're likely not going to actually see fruition on your books or your money back. So if you've ordered from them, please consider getting a refund. I have several titles. I said I had the Amaranthine books. I had Seasons of Terror, the Artist Edition, the from Cemetery Dance. I had that ordered through Dark Regions Press. And then I had a number of Dark Regions titles that are just never going to happen, including Spin a Black Yarn by Josh Malerman, which, funny enough, I had actually been planning on canceling that pre-order anyways, but I would have only gotten store credit because it had been like well over a year since I had ordered it, which is a bummer, especially because I would never be able to use that store credit because the store is closed. It does not exist anymore. I also had, I think, the numbered and lettered edition of The Cabin at the End of the World with Paul Tremblay from many years ago. That's never going to happen. But I know there are some people that are out some money there. So, like I said, if you have money in Dark Regions Press, please consider, try and get your money back. If you are one of the 16 people who is giving Dark Regions Press money through Patreon, because there are 16 of you out there somewhere. I don't know who you are, but there are 16 people out there who, on a monthly basis, are giving money to Dark Regions Press. You should cancel that. I tried reporting them through Patreon, just to kind of, see if Patreon could intervene and shut down the Patreon account. They told me to reach out to the content creator and take it up with him, which is not going to happen because Chris Moray is underground. He has run for the hills, to quote Iron Maiden. So anyways, it's disappointing. I don't want to see any small press fail or any small press go out of business, but the manner in which this one happened is frustrating for many, especially with the lack of communication or even contact from Chris Moray. But anyways, I will give you updates and developments when I have them. I think I might have received one of the last shipments from Dark Regions Press. I received Atlas of Hell like a month or two ago, which, I feel like that if he's been dark for a month now. There hasn't been a newsletter in a month, so I don't know if he's shipped much. So I can say, hey, at least I got that one, right? So anyways, thank you very much for watching. I will give you updates on the situation as they arise or as they occur. Please consider subscribing to the channel. I do book reviews at least once a week on Tuesdays, plus plenty of other unboxing videos between here and there. So there's plenty of content for you to check out. So anyways, thank you for watching, and we'll see you around next time.